nuclear force of specific scientist Mr. Enrique Fermi, known to his first theory proposed regarding best explained by the four fermion interchange, what's contact, like that. Okay, so contact forces, I already discussed it a while ago, but for the purpose of this discussion, we have a lot of contact forces. For example, okay, we have applied force. You can put that also in your blank sheet of paper during your study, especially if you're taking the chemical engineering students are taking now board examination, right? You can also put in the blank sheet of paper for the theory questions, something like that. Possible theory questions in the board. Okay, I'm having now my microphone. I need to intensify also because when I upload, like the sound is lesser in volume, so I need to use microphone audibility of my voice. Okay, because visible is for sight, seeing, and then audibility meaning for the voice, right? Okay, that's when we have audacity. Wow. You get our audio. Audio meaning refers to the sound, the volume of the sound, how loud, how soft or average sound. Okay? Get the point. So English again, right? Okay, so we have the applied force. Okay, how about my audio now? My clarity of my voice is okay now? So it doesn't matter, right? As long as I can discuss in front of you, right? Okay. Applied force. Okay. Normal force, like that. Guys, master this so that when physics problems come out in the examination, your points and scores will be high, like that. Okay, because physics is under, I think so, under general engineering. Okay, in our part, this chemical engineering disciplines, right? It's on the general engineering, including with the yes, including chemistry, physics, strength of the materials, engineering mechanics, math, solid measuration, probability and statistics. We have also differential calculus, integral calculus, differential equations, like that, and we have also the other one, advanced engineering mathematics, something like that. These are all general engineering, and I don't think so. It is in day one, day two, or day three because something had happened. A portfolio or another framework, not the same as before. Something like that. The style, the methodology varied already, not the same as in the 2000. I don't know. Okay, but that's what I've remembered. Okay, so physics there at least. In my part, I remember this in our board examination. The momentum came out. Okay, the impulse came out. The kinematics linear equation came out. The project. Then it includes also the materials, the shear force, tension, like, and it makes also with the engineering mechanics, makes also with other math, the so many in integral like that, so integrate and differentiate, also, and there's also problem solving where it relates to the math clock problem. Yeah, there's a clock problem, and there's also age problem in algebra. Age, let x, the age of Peter after 10 years. How much age is Lisa now? Like, oh, di ba nakalungan? Okay. A lot, guys, math, katong basic education ba? Okay, and then, wala mang pwedeng naman sa Laplace equation sa advanced engineering math. Dito ang tukutob sa kuan. I think so, ang pinaka-lesson work ang integral, something like that. I don't remember differential equation because related naman ang differential equation of ang integral. They are more complementary with each other. That's why no too much questions with regards to differential equation and advanced engineering math. Because if the examiners also will give the advanced engineering math, that's too difficult, right? Especially the Laplace equation, Laplace of something. Even me, up to now, I cannot understand very well what that Laplace equation is really. And nobody also will enjoy that because this Laplace equation of advanced engineering math is not also applied in the real world. Really, honestly, this will not be applied. The only differential, but more on the math, basic math. Okay, algebra, trigonometry, like that, analytic geometry, about perimeters, areas, volume, something like that, and also angles, especially already math. Okay, our pipe filter should know that. Okay, and foreman, and you need to compute that it's math also, right? So it's only there, but no beyond that. You will never ask to integrate something in actual world. Really, it's only need addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Admittedly, there is also ratio and proportion. Sometimes we need to relate the other quantity to other quantity. For example, if I need to design a water that will go up to the 8th level, that's talking about the pressure. It doesn't only pure minus subtract there. You need to use the formula, pressure formula, like that, the Pascal's law or Pascal's theory, something like that, and you have to compute for the height what pressure will be needed, like that. So it's a little bit not already too easy. You need to think critically, okay? But beyond that, I think nothing. Unless you as an engineer, you are assigned in consultant firm, something like that. You're working in a consultant firm because it's a lot of technicals, how to do your work well. And also in an engineering design company also. For example, if I'm a design engineer, how to make an heat exchanger, evaporator, things like this, right? Work equipment or work machines or motor pumps or whatever. Then that's the time I'll go up beyond algebra because there's a lot of integration in the design, integral calculus, differential calculus. You need to set limits to compute that, something like that, okay? So, but if our job doesn't necessarily need that under normal circumstances, okay, except you're on the technical side, as I told you, designer, whatever, or consultant, because they are full with technicals in their brain cells, something like that. Particularly, so there's also the specs, the requirements, the specifications, blah blah blah, so and so. Okay, but if we're just working that in that related, then why worried about that? Bingo, alas, okay, as long as you also have to relate the ratio proportion, interpolation. But no, based on the experience, you'll never go to that graph like that. We are working already in the real world, really. Okay, but for certain thing like that, to compute blah blah blah, so and so, have, but sometimes only. Especially, you have colleagues, since they know that you are injured, normally they will ask, sir, how can we, like, blah, 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 and you will also tell them, blah, 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 so and so. Okay, but not all the time. Rare, or quite often, not regular, or not permanent, something like that. Okay, sometimes, seldom, rare, not frequent. Okay, we have applied force, normal force, weight force, okay, ganun. Okay, mga palangga kulitan. We have the tension force. Okay. Okay. Tension force, ipatin siya sa physics. It's always come up in the examination in the future, ha? Okay. Like that. The identification of this, guys, is to think about of a pool, P-U-L-L. Okay, pooling by having a nylon rope, like that. Let's say, rope. If the problem have rope already and talks about forces, chuba chuchu, then tension will be solved in that particular problem. Okay, that's the technique. You need to troubleshoot the noun, what is being mentioned all the time. Okay, then think of something that has the same application and utilization aside from a rope. So maybe a belt, a vertical belt, because it will have the same purpose. Okay, and another thing, anything, wire rope sling, whatever, as long as it is a vertical, lengthy, let's say, and you will try to pull, okay, use tension already. Not necessarily rope, but what I mean, usually rope will come out in the problem. Now, Junjun pulls the chair by a rope. Usually talaga rope, Jun talaga siya. Or either rope was hung on the ceiling with a backs or blah blah blah, so and so. What is the like that? Okay, so muna siya mga tiwanan ang pull, P-U-L-L, o ang kanang mga rope, chuba-chucho, if we are asked to solve for tension forces. Okay, like that. So number 5, we have the, the fractional static force. And you have also the fractional kinetic force. Okay. Fractional kinetic force and fractional static force under only fractional force. Okay? So if the question in the future will say, enumerate the 2 types of fractional forces, Your answer will be frictional static force and frictional kinetic force. Let's say, for example, the examination have enumeration, listing, outline, define, identification, explain, define, and essay, or matching from column A to column B, then true or false, something like that. Then you can answer already. Identification also. Okay, blank is blah, 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 so and so. But normally, in a computerized board examination, always multiple choice. So that you will not depend only on multiple choice. Because the multiple choice sometimes say, butikaw, ikaw, ikaw, nga. Let's say, for example, A to E. The probability in A to E, based on probability and statistics, there is only one correct answer in that, so you have to say 1/5 times 100%. That's probability of getting a correct answer. Okay, because you have 5 choices and you need only to have one correct answer. So 1/5 times 100%. This is your probability. Ikaw, and then imagine 1/5. So understand and memorize all the principles and concepts like that. And my God, you cannot also easily memorize if you cannot understand. You get the point? Proper memorization always coupled with better understanding. Because if you will explain it memorizing that one, it will be lost suddenly in your brain cells. Got the point? That's why you need to troubleshoot and extract the terms which are the key terms for that particular memorization. Okay, like that. So that you will be easily detecting the indicators and hints and clues during your memorization, because we cannot put all of them in our brain cells also. It will become overcrowded in our part of our brain cells, cerebral central nervous system, right? In a fish study of anatomy, something like that. So if your brain cells will be fully loaded also, and the neurons cannot activate very well, especially if you have very low electrical impulses between positive and negative charge in your neurons, just like muscles or veins there that will activate every time, every second, like that. Then problem also, you will forget. Okay, so we need to have hints and clues and to understand well before memorization, something like that. And you have to do the acronym in that also, especially if the answers are so many. For example, what are the steps in doing the redox equation? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6. Now, that is enumeration. And then if the board examination will just say, what is the last step in redox equation? A, blah, blah, blah. B, okay, like of sum. Okay, because okay. Because memorize guys sa gamay lang kung sa definition sa extraction. What is extraction? What is absorption? What is centrifugation? What is decantation? What is sedimentation? What is sublimation? What is evaporation? Like that. There's a lot of physics. And you should put everything on the operation of processes, only definitions. Understand it very well. And separate also with another notebook all the formulas and equations. Like that. Okay? Because what will happen, if you will never do that, you will focus on problem solving only. And sometimes the question is only if the volume increases, what will happen to the other, like that? And then you are mastering only the problem solving, like that, given solution. So time may ako guys if there's no, principles and concepts. Okay? Most of the times. Muna akong yung guys, always go with the strong base foundation rather than go with the most complex. Why? Because the strength will come there in the foundation, just like constructing a bridge or any infrastructure, like a typhoon, sandstorm, tsunami, tidal wave, like that wave, okay, something like that. Extreme humidity, like that, whatever. Things like that are emergencies or, or accidents will be happening. Okay? So you need to know that. Okay? So that you can answer very well. To the extent of, sakto lang, that this will pass. Formulas and equations, pwede na siya. Do not focus on their equation. Okay, go with the basic, which is the Bernoulli equation. It's very easy to understand rather than using the Euler equation. Diba? Ayaw mo focus at okay. Di mo ito kasi natin. Okay? So, focus on the, katulad yung kung mga basic na. Kung ipa-direct ka dito, makakasagot mo ka. Okay? Especially if you know the integrals. Break siya. Particular problems. Na marakas. Oo, hindi mo siya. Which theory. Okay, pura sumsum. Hindi na himo, pura sumsum. Okay? Go. Kung medyo kayo ka, na imo problem solving. Okay? Yan na may kuha, na may theory. If for example, 100 items, let's say, Samoa, 150. Ang theory, daghan sa kayo mag 30, ganun, 150. Ang theory, daghan sa kayo mag 30, ganun. Nya, bali 80% ra ang inyong problem solving. Yung mga tangan ka 20. Okay? Ano kung pabaya kayo? Kung ang mo theory, para mo balance ba? Okay? Right? Because we as a chemical engineers, we are told to be a balanced person because we need to balance this check and balance within the opposition and government alliance, something like that. Check and balance going on. It's not also good for always, thinking for this, maybe there's corruption also through conspiracy, something like that, or sabotage of certain hidden agenda. So it's especially prior to take the examination. Okay, like that. Okay, and that's very clear. Okay, it's also okay that you are very, very good in problem solving, but what I'm trying to find out, to say, you should also develop your, theories, principles, and concepts. Okay, that's very clear. For me, guys, I pass more on the theories, principles, and concepts, not on the problem solving. That's why I keep you encouraging to have this attitude and culture. Okay, as you can as me when I discuss, I always start with the theory, the principles, the concepts of relationships prior to solve problem a lot. Okay, like that. Okay, and this is also one way of sharing to you guys how to solve properly. Okay, in a what I tried to say, we can solve it in a orderly fashion or systematized fashion. Because other also intelligent people solve directly with don't go to the first step, second step, third step, fourth step. Guys, if you are really teaching students at a very young age, you should do that in an orderly and systematized manner. Because their mind is just like first an empty shell without yet the new knowledge. Then if you try to introduce them already gubot na siya taan, then how can they understand properly the topic? Okay? That's why when you give examinations to them, only 5 will pass, only 6 will pass. That means you are not an effective 5 passed. Only 10 passed. And then others also will be happy for, no, you should not be happy for that. That means you are not an effective teacher. They are not understanding of what you are telling to them or discussing to them. You should find a way to increase the level of your passing percentage in your classroom instruction. You should not be happy for that. Okay? That's why that kind of culture will remain when they take the board examination also. Because you doesn't care the passing percentage of your classroom instruction also. Okay? Like that. So that you can improve also your school's performance regarding board passers, something like that. Out of 50, 45 passed. Wow, I am very fulfilled as an instructor of that reputable university. Something like, our students are all passed. Oh, and I will jump with happiness. You shouldn't be, what do you call this one? Selfish. Something like that. That nobody passed from wala lang san ka. You should be affected because you are the instructors of those people. Something like that. And you are in the same school. You should make a move to improve the quality standards of the passing percentage in your institution or university. So in that way, you can collaborate. Which is the style in which they did not get from me? Then you should improve. Okay, I will do this. Polish a little bit. Polish. Meaning refine, filtering what area that they did not understand the style of your delivery of your discussion. That's gonna be like that, right? So that you, as a professor, both of you are satisfied and fulfilled. Because money doesn't involve in that. That's learning. Okay, as I told you, do not equate every time with money. Okay, just focus that you learn something good like that, and you pass and you understand very well. Then it will be your fulfillment and satisfaction. Okay, for the part of the students, you should not also focus that you can also you should grasp and absorb knowledge so that you can use that in every day of your life after your education curriculum when you graduate. That is the most and critical and crucial, important situation being a professional someday. It's not like, you know, because I need to be appreciated that in our family I am an academic achiever or a dance teacher. I have to prove that I am a magna cum laude and graduate with honors. It's not like that. Okay, really? Okay, you get the point? Maybe secondary na lang siya or, or mga tulong reasons. But the main point talaga siya, you need to learn so that you can apply that in your daily life and in the future. And in fact, it can help you also solve problems and survive in this contemporary world. Especially if highly technical talaga siya. For example, with regards to the disease, like that, and then you don't have to go to the doctors all the time just to troubleshoot the disease. Very easy to troubleshoot disease and you have to go to the doctor. What's that? You should learn by yourself. You should research. You should study. Just only that's only stomach pain. And you are very, you'll panic like that. Maybe you will die. You think something wrong, and you will go to the doctor. It's not always all the time like that. You should also research by yourself to protect yourself and to save yourself. Something like that. Okay. Nakakalo. Okay, number 7. Okay, what else mga palangga kung hitag? Okay, so we have also forces na kanang imo siyang giduot, push and pull, right? Push and pull forces. Okay, like that. You get the point mga palangga kung hitag. Wala siya. Okay, mauro ginapirmin mong timanan. Okay, sa mga contact forces. Okay, and then sa non-contact forces, ano siyang giingon ang range, di ba? Range forces, long range forces. Ano siya ang mga, for example, or non-contact forces. Okay, we have the gravitational force. Okay, gravitational force. You have to understand this because without this, we will be floating into the outer space. Okay, all objects existed in the planet Earth have a very strong gravity. Okay, or else we will be going there into the black hole in the outer space. Okay, so like that. Number 2, we have the nuclear strong and weak forces. Nuclear weak and strong forces. Without this also, we don't have gadgets, appliances, lights, fluorescent lights, laptops, radio. We don't